Hello, and welcome to our next unit on chemical formulas and equations. This comes from chapter 6 and 8 in your textbook. Some topics from this unit include ionic and molecular compounds, how to name these ionic and molecular compounds, balancing chemical equations, types of reactions, and finally, how do you predict the products if you only know the reactants. So we begin in lesson 1, which is ionic and molecular bonding. In this lesson, we spend some time looking at the differences between these two types of compounds. What makes a compound ionic? What makes a compound molecular? Or sometimes we use the word covalent. We'll also take a look at these things called polyatomic ions and how they're used in ionic compounds. And we'll wrap things up talking about those transition metals that we labeled on our periodic table. Well, it turns out that they act a little bit strange. They're a little bit unpredictable, and so we need to learn some rules about them. And so that will take us through lesson 1. A few things different on this lesson. If we enter into lesson 1 a minute, we can see that the format's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. And so I want to direct your attention to this lesson summary over here. We've laid things out so that you can go through each of these lessons step by step and know exactly what needs to be done. So all our lessons will include these lesson instructions that tell you pretty much in order, here's what you should do, here's where you should do it, and don't forget that down below you have all of these different resources. The resources at the beginning are kind of our class resources, our notes, worksheets that will be printed off for you, and then finally we get to those answer keys. After that, we have what are called the additional resources, the ones where you have a little bit more freedom on which ones to pick and choose, and those additional resources are also written up here. So if we just look briefly at these lesson instructions, complete this tutorial, complete part of your notes, some practice problems, continue with your notes, select at least one additional resource from the list below. So taking one of these four, or one of these four that are listed last, find a resource that you want to explore a little bit more. So maybe you want to give them all a quick preview, maybe you just want to read the names and pick one, but spend some time watching it, doing it, interacting with it, depending on what kind of resource it was. And then as normal, we're going to conclude our lesson by taking a quiz, and remember they're just down at the bottom there, so there's our lesson 1 quiz, and you're going to take that quiz, submit it, and once again see what you got right, see what you got wrong, and what did Edify recommend? What are those recommended resources based on your performance? So once all 1 through 6, these tasks are all completed, here's another little new part. We're asking you to take and submit an exit survey. It should really only take you a couple minutes to do it. You can have a hyperlink right in this line right there, so hopefully it's live. And if you click on that hyperlink, it's going to take you to a brief exit survey. What's your name? What hour are you in? So we can keep you all straight. And here's the list of required things that you were supposed to do. It corresponds to that step-by-step instructions on Edify. And so hopefully all those things are checked because you should have done them all. Talk a little bit about that extra resource that you used and what did you learn from it. How did you do on your quiz? And then finally, what is your confidence level on this lesson 1 material? And so rate yourself on a 1 to 10 and submit your responses. And at that point, you have completed the lesson 1 tasks. So once again, we're diving into the world of compounds, ionic compounds, molecular compounds, and we're working our way towards being able to name and towards being able to predict our chemical reactions. So good luck.